Minutes my brew was ready. Well, that's it. Fly camp established. Very easy, very simple, and there's a really nice atmosphere in a fly camp. You get the shade from the sun, which is nice, but you also get a nice cooling breeze running through the side of the tarp, and wherever you look you can see out. And this of course is the way the old pioneers who came to Africa to explore it for the first time, this is how they travelled. Had to be simple. Fantastic. Next morning was an early start in order to prepare some bread for breakfast. It's an easy recipe with beer, which gives a nice yeasty flavour. Keeping it simple is the principle we employ out here always. A heavy cast iron pot like this holds the heat so you can roast or bake with it. It's a brilliant cooking device. Just prop that to keep it cool. While my bread was baking, across the clearing I saw the face of an old friend. When I was last with the Hazda tribe, I worked closely with this man. Gudo. Mutana.
Mutana.
How are you?
I'm sorry, sir.
A long while. Gudo.
So.
Because your hair's gone grey.
I'm gonna shoot it. You heard it?
Yeah.
So.
It seemed like yesterday that I was filming with Gudo. I got to know him well, as he understands English, although he's reluctant to speak it. Been a long while. Come and have a seat. I haven't seen Gudo since 1997. It's fantastic to see him. We spent a lot of time here filming. It was wonderful. His hair's going grey, and I've shaved my beard off. But it's really nice to see you. Bushcraft gives me a special connection with the Hazda, and I'd always wanted to return. Things are overdone. In the excitement of meeting Gudo, I left the bread in a bit too long, but Gudo was too polite to refuse. And Andy, the sound man, didn't seem to notice. This is the bow this is an English bow. I had this bow made up specially by a top craftsman in England. When I was last here, the Hazda wanted to know more about English bows, and I thought the best way to show them was to take them one. I hoped Gudo would accept it as a gift. What did he say, Cambona?
Oh, the all wild animals do. They will know me.
Gudo also told Cambona that it shot like a gun and insisted on chanting to the bow. Do you think we can find the arrow? It was great to see Gudo again, and the Hazda village was only just through the woods. This walk through the bushes to get there was like stepping back in time. The Hazda live a very traditional lifestyle. They're semi-nomadic, moving when they feel they must, with very few possessions. I thought toys from our world are always of interest to the children. How are you? Nice to see you. Another person I met from last time was Mustafa. When I met him last, he was learning herbalism. Now he's an expert in all the traditional uses of the bush, and he showed me what he'd learnt of the plants in this area. Yep.
Hako hamana mugurumbiako. 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 Hako hamana mugurumbiako. Kateta otaishina.
It's the medicine we use. We take the leaves and chew it a little and then spit it out. It is to treat the ear. The moisture treats infection in the ears.
Nuba air. Nice.
These plants call it Hammond by the Hazda. This is the medicine that you take if you have bitten by a poison snake. It makes you vomit and have diarrhea. This makes you get rid of the poison from the system. Then you can boil the leaves as smoothing drink.
Mustafa told me he'd been bitten by two of Africa's most poisonous snakes, the black and the green mamba. That's incredible. You don't very often hear of people surviving the bites of both a green and a black mamba. Sometimes people call the black mamba the 15-step snake. You take 15 steps after being bitten and drop dead. And it says an awful lot for their ability to deal with medical problems. Back at camp, it was time to do some laundry. It's really important when you're out here in the wilds to keep your clothing and yourself as clean as you can. Probably one of the most important and often forgotten items of equipment is a small nail brush that really helps to keep things clean and tidy. And to dry them, what better than a bush coat hanger? What I'm going to do is double that back like this and just begin to make a little rope. And that should do. It's plenty long enough now. Just clean the stick up of any sharp bits. I don't want to make holes in any washing I do. Particularly at the end of this stick, round it off nicely. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to untwist that a little bit so I get a loop and just feed the stick in through there. There it is. And then I can hang that up on my washing line and I've got a coat hanger. What hardly anybody knows about this country is that it was the scene of a forgotten and hard-fought guerrilla campaign during the First World War. I find it impossible to imagine that nearly 50,000 Europeans camped out here during that conflict. It's a forgotten campaign in which the Allies sustained heavy losses. But the war fought here in East Africa wasn't anything like the one being fought in Europe. Here it was a case of manoeuvre and of guerrilla warfare, fought always in the bush. The greatest tactician by far proved to be the German commander, von Lettow-Vorbeck, whose knowledge of the terrain of East Africa proved to be the superior. The British imagined